Hi, Wesley. I wanted to leave you some feedback on your rough draft for SA2. Overall, I think that you have some good description in this essay. You have a good thesis statement. And I think that there is also some good context for what the image is responding to. Um, I want to talk to you about a couple things uh, to to help improve this essay. So, I like this idea of you kind of pointing, you starting with this rhetorical question, and then you talking about what we usually do, or what the purpose of maps is typically. Um, but it kind of feels like there's this jump between this opening idea, the political cartoon, and then the thesis, right? Um, so I want you to go back and reread this and think about, while these two ideas are good by themselves, this idea is good by itself, and this idea, your thesis, is good by itself. It's not quite working yet as an introductory paragraph that is all funneling your sentences down to your thesis statement. However, I think that you can get there. So you start off with this rhetorical question: have you ever looked at a map and realized how lost you were? Typically, we look at a map to align ourselves with the direction we want to go, right? So continue with that idea, right? So typically we look at a map to align ourselves with the direction we want to go, and then we can uh, get ourselves, or get ourselves back on track, right? Prevent ourselves from being lost, or solve the problem of being lost. You seem to say, it seems to be like there's like this contrasting point, like a however, right? Meaning, like, in the political cartoon, is this what's going on, or is it the opposite, right? So I would continue this idea. Second, it feels like we really need some context here from from the real world before you present this thesis, because there's like a big jump from these opening ideas to the thesis statement. I think you have it here, right? So I think that some of these ideas, perhaps even all of these ideas, actually need to come up here first, right? At least before the thesis statement. So I want you to rethink your organization here. I think that this information would be better suited in your introduction. Um, I I like your description here, and I think that your thesis is clear, a mixture of direction and emotion. Although direction is kind of a, it's kind of a, I'm not quite sure what to make of that, what you mean exactly by direction. So you might play around with that word. It might actually be that this is really tapping into pathos, right? Because maybe what the cartoon is really tapping into is a mixture of confusion and disappointment. I haven't seen this political cartoon, but based on your description, that's what it seems like it's hitting on. Um, and while you, yeah. And look, because you're talking about confusion here, and here you're talking about upset and the lack of direction. So I like those ideas that you're talking about emotion, but I want you to think about how you can present those ideas earlier in the paragraph, right? Because when I got here, I just thought you were giving me a description. When I got here, I just thought you were giving me a description. I had really no indication that you were giving me analysis. So think about how you can more clearly connect your points back to your thesis, right? And it might just be the case of you starting off with the paragraph with the cartoon taps in to the confusion that the candidate probably felt, but then also how his supporters likely felt as well. And then you can dig into the description and talk about the specific elements in the image that suggest confusion, right? Um, yeah. And I think the same thing here, like the upset. of feeling that they're lost. And that's going to be kind of interesting because there's like two layers of being lost here. The fact that Bernie had to drop out, but we also have the idea that like we're lost if we have a map. So that might be something um, kind of fun to play around with. I would make sure that you get this more in the present moment, meaning that he's no longer one of the Democratic candidates, right? I would say the former Democratic candidate, or make some indication that he no longer is, that he conceded to Biden for that. But I do think that this context is good. I just think it's in the wrong spot. Again, the thesis is good. I just want you to more clearly reinforce this idea in your body paragraphs. And I think it's if you introduce the idea in your opening sentence, almost as if they're key ideas, you'll get there. I don't yet see you talking about audience or the insights, but I think that, you are kind of talking about audience here. So perhaps right here, this is a section that you can expand upon along with your insights, right? Yeah, I think that you can get there. So a little bit of reorganizing and a little bit of expanding on the ideas that you already have. But I think that this is a good start, and you can certainly get there. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.